always in love with recording in progress. I never make mistakes on the beginning of the recording anymore. Thank you, Zoom. Wow, I thanked Zoom. Ooh, I don't think there's many people in the world doing that right now. Oh, maybe cursing Zoom, but not thanking Zoom. Anyway, not important. Let me move on, because we wrote books, literary life guides to pop poetry. And if you're wondering who we is, R is, let's go with R is. I think that's proper English, right? R is. It feels right. It's a contraction. Oh my goodness. I'm saying who we are because I am Winona, which is one half of the And I Thought ladies, where I am now missing a Jade D. She had a family tragedy, so she's not here. Anyway, we're not talking about that because that's not fun or exciting. So when I said we wrote books, I mean like the And I Thought Divorce Was Bad. I did say the And I Thought Divorce Was Bad. And I Thought Being Grown Up Was Easy. Yep, there we go. And then If Only I Were Me, a memoir in verse, Widow's Web, Widow's Debt, and Foreign Coffee. All of those are audiobooks. Now, if you recognize and you count it with me, that's 6 whole books. We have 17, so you can find out about the other 11 and a few things we wish we had never put on the internet, because I'm still trying to clean that website up at www.andithoughladies.com, because I'm here by myself, so I do .com like I'm selling cars. And for one more time, it's andithoughladies.com. I feel like I should dap with that, but then I'd be super old. Anyway, you're not here to hear about me, although I could definitely talk about me for hours. You're here to hear about our wonderful guest. Wonderful guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Well, I loved hearing you make up words. That was awesome. I think that's going to the Webster Dictionary right now. So congrats on that. I'm Sadie Dean. I am currently the editor-in-chief for Script Magazine. We talk about everything screenwriting, TV writing, filmmaking. It's a great resource for all storytellers in any journey, part of their journey. A little bit about me. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a musician, and I need naps during the week. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, honestly, I think we all need naps. Especially when you're a creative. It's like you have business and then you have to create, and then anything in between that you can't afford to have done, you have to do it yourself. So you have to teach yourself. You're in university while you're doing it. We all need naps. Anyway. So first of all, tell us a bit about Script Magazine and what it's like to be editor-in-chief.
So Script Magazine has been around for quite a time. It started originally as a family business back in the early 80s. And it was a printed publication for screenwriters. And then it kind of got bounced around different companies being sold and bought. And now we're just 100% digital online. You can go to scriptmag.com and see all of our resources there. And really, it's just a resource where we interview filmmakers who are, anywhere from A-list to just starting out. I always love to give a nudge for our budding filmmakers and see what we can learn from them as well on their journey. We do a lot of tips, a lot of advice from a lot of professionals in the business as well. So you're not just hearing from me all the time. And then being the editor-in-chief is quite the undertaking, because I took over for someone who was at the job for a long time, and I have nothing but mad respect for her. And she's like my sister from another mother. And we actually co-host a podcast together now called Reckless Creatives through under the banner of the new company she's at, which is Script Pipeline. Not to be confused with Script Magazine, but we're all like a family. We all support each other. So she's awesome. It's a lot of work. It's me running the show and seeing what's best for, our filmmakers and our storytellers, and what kind of information I think would be the most beneficial for their writing journey.
Sadie, you said that so professionally, I don't even want to ask my next question, because I feel like it is time for narcissism questions for Winona, but I feel like you were so professional about that. I should be like, skip it.
Ask it. Let's do it.
My ego says no, I'm going to ask it. So I just wanted to know, did you need an adorable little African American young lady with a red ribbon in her hair to write something or be featured in Script Magazine? Just wondered. Anyway,
The answer is yes, of course, absolutely.
so kind. Don't worry about it. When we get off of this, you'll rig that offer. Don't worry. You won't see me in there. So can you tell us a bit about your podcast though? Because you said, you're working with the former editor-in-chief. That has to be awesome. So like when you have questions, you can be like, after the podcast, I got questions.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
tell us about your podcast.
Yeah, so it's called Reckless Creatives, and basically we try to cover everything that's reckless about being a creative. There's really no right or wrong way at being creative. So we try to give our own personal insight into what we've done over the years as filmmakers, as writers, and hopefully, we've learned from our mistakes, and hopefully we pass that on to other folks. We do a lot of one-on-one stuff together, where we interview other filmmakers from all various paths as well. And we just, we also go to our Twitter community and say like, hey, what do you want us to cover? We've done topics on about success, what that looks like, failure and embracing failure, to interviewing filmmakers who've done documentaries, who've done features. We just interviewed a good friend of mine who is a story editor in the animation world, and just like picking her brain about what it's like to be a female in that world, and also like the shows she gets to work on, and the difference between a story editor in animation as opposed to like a writer's room, where they're a little bit lower on the totem pole. But yeah, we just try to keep it real and authentic on the podcast. We don't have all the right answers. A lot of the answers are probably wrong, but it's just what works for us, and got us to where we are now.
Well, they say that it's always good to have wisdom floating out there. And sometimes I remember when a friend of mine was hanging out with me, and someone was like, they asked me, why do you hang out with Winona? And she was like, even a clock, even a wrong clock is right twice a day. So sure what you were trying to say about me. So I'm not taking the fact that I might be wrong. Forget that. So of course I have to ask, how can one get on the podcast if you are accepting guests? And then of course, number two, what kind of articles are you looking for Script Magazine?
Yeah, so we kind of, in terms of getting on the podcast, we try not to bring on too many guests, but if there's something that you bring to the table that might be beneficial for filmmakers or storytellers, or we don't try to keep it just to filmmaking too. We want to dabble in like poetry and writing for music, or DPs, or kind of all creative people are welcome. We're still kind of figuring that out. And then in terms for articles for scripts, I'm looking for people who have a unique voice and vision and can offer insight into the business. If they have something that they're really good at, if it's like a producer who is a line producer and just understands budgeting and scheduling and how that works for independent filmmakers. If we have knowledge in screenwriting, it could be simple as writing a second act to writing theme, if that's like your thing. I welcome that. So I'm always looking for new contributors and new voices to bring to scripts. So, well, Nona, you better send me some stuff.
Oh, I thought you saw these at the beginning, right? All right.
Yeah, yeah.
But of course, now I get to ask the fun things. Okay, tell us all about your filmmaking career, where we can watch these films. What's it like to be a filmmaker?
Yeah,
so I got real excited and asked so many questions.
It's fine. Yeah, so I've made a lot of stuff that hasn't been seen, because that's just the way filmmaking is. And I've worked on projects that have been out there. You can find all that stuff on like IMDb. I'm still working on my website. I'm very slow to work on that. But yeah, I started out film school. I went to AFI, got my MFA in screenwriting. And then I dabbled in producing. I produced a lot of music videos to pay bills for a long time. And then I was a script supervisor for a while. The last thing I did as a script supervisor was for an Awesomeness TV TV show. That was really cool. I produced a feature independent documentary about like, oh my God, I want to say like 6 years ago or something. It's been a while. And then right now I'm working on a short project myself that I will be shooting the end of November. So a lot of stuff in the works and happening. You know, the pandemic kind of slowed things down in momentum wise, but getting back into the swing of things.
This is very, very exciting. Can you tell us what a script supervisor does?
Yeah, so the script supervisor kind of is the person that knows everything that's going on the set in terms of when cameras are rolling, to what's happening in the script. They keep track of all the continuity for editing, and for the director and cinematographer. We're making sure that you're not crossing lines, in terms of camera placement, making sure that's going to like actually, you know, once it's in editing, that's going to work and match. Keep track of all the dialogue, we keep track of all of the costume changes, down to hair, makeup. If it's an action scene, we have to keep track of like, okay, where did the blood go? You know, you always see the script supervisor at a monitor, just taking notes, line notes on the scripts. They're usually like the first AD's right-hand man or woman, because they will know exactly what time, you know, we call it action to when we cut. And they're kind of the eyes and like additional eyes and ears for a director and a DP, just for those things that they're not really paying attention to when they need it. So they do a lot. It's a lot of work, but I think it's a great job to have on any set, especially when you're starting out, because you kind of understand everyone's role on the set, because you're also working in tandem with the sound department, making sure like, actually, I heard the plane over that. We should probably retake that take because we heard the plane, or you know, stuff like that. So it's a great job. I wish I was still doing it. It's just, you know, it's the hustle, which I have. How I stated earlier, I need my naps. You don't really get naps being on set all the time.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So Sadie, thank you so much for being
Yeah.
here. Can you tell us again where people can either follow you, or where they can read Script Mag or listen to your podcast?
Yeah, absolutely. So Script Magazine is scriptmag.com. You could follow me on Twitter. It's Sadie K. Dean. At Twitter, you can find all my information in my bio on Script Magazine. And Reckless Creatives is a little bit more complicated in the name, but you can find that also on Script Mag or in my bio on Twitter as well.
All right, thank you so much for being here. Okay,
Yeah.
since Sadie has wrapped herself all up in a nice little bow, I think it's about time for me to do the same. Oh wow, I'm sorry. I saw a nice little bow and I looked at my own hair. Man, my ego was just on 10 today. Like, it's cute. Okay, moving on. You can find out everything that you ladies are doing at www.andithoughtLadies. And I'm not doing the salesman.com because it's the end.com. So it's www.andithoughtLadies.com. While you're there, can you go down to the bottom of the page? And there are 3 charities that we proudly support. If you could help them out as well, especially during these difficult times, we would really appreciate it. We need to keep those doors open. Remember that wisdom is all around you if you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Winona and the missing Jade. Bye-bye.